near the starting point of this Canva section, well, where we were dealing with Canva, I would have shown you a complete website that I built using tools that I said was from an online platform that we'll get into later. And what I've done is that I've actually taken code and I've recreated it just using HTML, CSS, and by getting that same content and applying it to this website that I've created, okay? So you can see here that we have the website here, the one that I had shown previously. So what I've done is that I have two of these websites. I have one I've done with code, and I have one that I've done with an online platform, okay? So let me show you that other one. So the URL is that. I don't have anything here. Good. Okay. So we can see here that from the structure that I have here, I have a header here. I have a section here for large image to kind of catch the person's attention with some text and a button. I have here some text, some images, okay, all in one section here. And I would have gone through this already. I went through how the site was structured. So you can see that the site has a particular structure here. And if I come over to where I have it in code, we can see that the structure is pretty much the same, okay? Hang on, this is the other one. This one, good. So you can see here that the structure is pretty much the same. There are some minor differences. I have a different logo, for example. But otherwise, the structure is pretty much the same. It's the same images, the same structure, with some minor changes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how we can create this using all of the skills we've learned before and using them together to get this result, okay? So the first thing I need to do is that I need to assess how many sections I need to put to contain this content, okay? So if you look here, we can see that we have a header area at the top, so that's one section. We have this area just below it with Explore the World, that's a second. We have another here, so that's 3. Another one here. So I have all of this. So this text, these images, and this button are all in one section. And you can tell because the sections have alternating colors. So you have white alternating with gray. So this is all one section, okay? So just to recap, that's 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? Down to this point, that's 4. And you have another one here, so this is 5. And this one is 6, okay? So you have the cutoff point here, so this is 6, 7, 8 for this contact form, and finally 9, okay? So this has a total of 9 sections, and that would be our divs when we start creating this site, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start to create the site. I'm going to bring up Notepad. And what I'm going to do is that, just to speed things along a little bit, I'm going to copy the head section that I would have used previously. So I'm going to come here, and I'm just going to copy this head section. And you can copy this head section from pretty much any of the files we would have done previously. So I'm going to copy, well, I'm not just going to copy the head section, I'm also going to copy the opening HTML tag and the doc type HTML declaration at the top. So I'm going to copy that top section there. And I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to paste this at the top just to get things started. Good. So I have my doc type declaration at the top. I have the opening HTML tag here. And then I have my head section, okay? So I'm just doing this so that I don't have to type this stuff over to get started. And then I'm just going to add the body tags here. So body / body, closing body tag. And then below that, I'm going to put in the closing HTML tag. So /HTML. Good. And remember that what I said here is that we have 9 sections. So the first thing I'm going to do in my body area is I'm going to create 9 sections, okay? But before I do that, I want to come to my head section. I want to add a couple more things here. So I want to add another link to get another font from Google Fonts. So I'm going to copy this link. And I'm just going to repeat the line here. So I'm going to paste it on this next line here. Good. And I'm going to change the family that is shown here from Oswald to Roboto, because some of the text we're going to be using here is going to use the Roboto font. So I'm going to put that as Roboto. And then below that, I'm going to add a script for fonts, okay? So just make sure you have this script here for the font. Well, not for the font, for the icons, sorry, that we're going to use. So we're going to use the icons from Iconify again. Iconify, sorry. Design /1 /1 .0 .6 /Iconify again .min.js. Okay, and then that /script. Good. Okay, so we have our head section. So that's pretty much what I need for the head section. So I have my title. So I'm going to my title. I'm going to change this title to my travel website. Good. Website. Good. Okay. And then below that, I have my char set, and then I just have my lanes here to bring in style sheet, to bring in the fonts I want, and to bring in the icons. And for the style here, for the file that is linked here in the style sheet, I'm going to change this to let me see, I'll call this travel style. Okay, because this is going to be a travel based website, so I'm just going to identify it as such by kind of naming all of the files after that whole theme of travel. Okay, so that is it for the head section. So I'm going to start now on the body. So for the body, I'm going to put, as I said, 9 divs because we have 9 sections for our website. So I'm going to put div, and I'm going to name this first one the header. So I'm going to put div id is equals to header /div. Good. And then I'm going to copy this, and I'm just going to repeat this 8 times to get 9 divs. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these, and I also have to put these in a container. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out, and I'm just going to do my container. So I'm going to call this container. So this is just something to contain all of the divs so I can control them. So I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to open this. I'm going to put all the divs inside of here, okay? The 9 divs. So I'm going to put that one, that's header. Put another one here for our first section, then another one here. I'm just going to repeat this process another 6 times. In fact, what I can do is just to speed this up, I can copy these 3 and do it just 2 more times. So copy. That's the one there, and that's the other one. Good. So I now have, inside of my body, I have a containing div, and then I have 9 divs inside of it, okay? And that's how this was constructed. You have these 9 divs that have this content, and they're all contained in a larger div That helps me to control them, okay? Good. So now I can start to just name these a little bit more individually. So I'm going to leave this as header, obviously, because that was at the top. But these divs after it, I'm going to call just sections. So I'm going to call this section 1. Call the one after that section 2. I'm just going to continue doing that process. So sec 3, sec 4, sec 5, sec 6, sec 7. Okay. And finally, I'm just going to call this one the footer, because that's at the bottom. Good. So I have my divs here and they're labeled, okay? They all have a unique identifier, so I can actually adjust each one individually in my style sheet. So good, so we have a structure here now. And what we can do is that, what I'm going to do is that as I'm building this website, I'm going to adjust each of these divs individually. So I'm going to add the content and I'm going to go on style. For example, the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to do the header. So I'm going to add the content to the header, and then I'm going to go to my style sheet and I'm going to adjust the styling for that, okay? And I'm going to do that for each one, okay? So I'm going to swap between HTML and CSS as we go down to each section. I think that's the best way of doing it, because then we can catch any errors that might occur with each one, instead of like doing it all at the same time. It's a lot better to do it one section at a time, because if an error pops up, it's going to be easier to deal with it at that point in time instead of having to search for the whole thing, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to create some content here in my header. So if we look here at the header has a logo and some links and finally an icon, okay? So how I chose to approach this is that I split the header into two sections, okay? So on the one side you have the logo, and on the other side you have your links, okay? So what I did is that I did this. I put in div ID is equals to links. Oops, quotation. Div ID is equals to links. Good. And then, no, sorry. No, there's the logo that comes first. So div ID is equals to logo. And then I would have linked my logo. So img src is equals to, and then I would have the link. So let me just show you